PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, Golden Knights fans. Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And what an amazing show we have planned for you tonight as we have a Vegas Hockey Hub recap. And this is going to be a very interesting show to talk about as your Vegas Golden Knights beat the Los Angeles Kings 4-3 in a very exciting shootout. Of course, we're going to be breaking down everything that happened in the game itself. But before we get into that, go to PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. We have about a dozen shows on the network, so I highly recommend checking out everyone on the network. There's amazing shows on here, including Vegas Hockey Hub. Also, go to the YouTube channel, PR Connections Radio, where every show is uploaded. If you want to subscribe to the network, that would be incredible. And if you want to go to the Vegas Hockey Hub YouTube channel, where I post content daily, if you want to like the video and share it to all your friends around the world, I would be appreciated of that. And then lastly, if you want to go to all of our social medias at Vegas Hockey Hub, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are everywhere on social media at Vegas Hockey Hub. And if you want to follow your host, I am right here, Ian Rachiele 18, right down below. So if you want to follow me on social media, at Ian Rachiele 18. So getting into the Golden Knights and the Kings recap that we're talking about right here on the show. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, once again. As we're doing the recap right now, talking about the Golden Knights and the Kings game, where the Golden Knights have improved to 8-0-1 on the year. Now, the pregame notes. Jonas Roundbeer was called up from the Henderson Silver Knights. He was brought up to the Golden Knights organization. He was brought up earlier in the year, but then after some guys got cleared from injuries, he was sent back down. Now, there was originally speculation as to why Roundbeer was called up from Henderson. There was wondering, was there an injury? Was there somebody taken out of the lineup? Someone that was supposed to be in the lineup? They're not going to be there. Well, we found out just a while afterwards the reason why Jonas Roundbeer was called up and would be a healthy scratch alongside Caden Korzak and Ben Hutton is because officially Nick Waugh is on the IR. So Nick Waugh is not going to be able with the team for a while. He is on injured reserve. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to try to give a timetable on how long Nick Waugh is going to be out. Just like with the Zach Whitecloud situation, I know that he's healing. He's getting better. But there is no timetable as when Whitecloud's coming back. There is not a timetable for Waugh coming back. So because Nick Waugh is put on the IR, Jonas Roundbeer called up from the AHL to be a healthy scratch for tonight's game against the LA Kings. You also had Logan Thompson in the net for the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a Logan Thompson who is perfect this season. What an incredible story by Logan Thompson. Aiden Hill was in the net when Chicago beat Vegas. So yeah, Logan Thompson, this is somebody that I do like there, someone that definitely has shown some good situations. And I like with Logan Thompson, I like what he has shown earlier this year. I mean, this is a guy who's got 2.21 goals against average, save percentage still over 93%. And, you know, I like what Logan Thompson has provided with the organization. I know that this has been a very good situation for Logan Thompson. And, yeah, this is somebody that I will say Logan Thompson did pretty well in net, but just wanted to point that out. Logan Thompson in net tonight. And, yeah, he was in the net when they beat San Jose, was in the net when they beat Winnipeg, was in net for Philadelphia when they won, and now was in the net for LA. So Logan Thompson, incredible this year for the Vegas Golden Knights. And Bruce Cassidy in the game, in the pregame, they mentioned that Bruce Cassidy, 600 games as the NHL head coach. What an incredible milestone for a guy like Bruce Cassidy. Started his career at the Washington Capitals, had a short stint there, almost spent a decade plus without being a head coach in the NHL. He was in the minors. He was an assistant coach, a head coach in the minors. Finally gets an opportunity with Boston. We know what he did there, led him to a Stanley Cup appearance in Boston, let him go, and now he is on a much better opportunity here with the Vegas Golden Knights, winning the Stanley Cup last year and have the best record in all of hockey this year. So in the first period for the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings, now the first 10 minutes, not much happened. I mean, it's kind of been a reoccurring situation for your Vegas Golden Knights. But first 10 minutes of almost every game this year, the Vegas Golden Knights have been slow. The Vegas Golden Knights, the energy of it has not been where it needs to be in the first 10 minutes of the game. And I will say, look, the Vegas Golden Knights, of course, when you're winning games, it doesn't matter. But if you lose a game and it was because of how sluggish you were in the beginning, or if you lose a game and it's because you were not energetic in the last 20 minutes of the game, there's always going to be something that happens. And we also noticed when looking at the sidelines, Bruce Cassidy, when you looked at him on the bench, he was frustrated in the first period. And I believe it's because he could see that the Golden Knights are not at 100% when the game kicks off. It really seems like the first period, it's very slow. It's like when you wake up in the morning, right? It's very slow. You're sluggish. You're not really fast and quick. You got to get your coffee in. You got to have your 5-hour energy. It just seems like the Vegas Golden Knights are like when you wake up in the morning. You know, that first period, they just don't have a lot of energy in there. And I will say this, Alex Lafreniere, with his second goal of the season, nice job by the rookie for the LA Kings, his second goal of the season, assisted by Matt Roy and Pierre-Luc Dubois to make it a 1-0 game for the LA Kings. And this actually had a little bit of controversy in this because the Vegas Golden Knights would call a coach's challenge for goalie interference. Now, Logan Thompson, he briefly got brushed by Pierre-Luc Dubois. However, it was about a half a second between him getting brushed and Lafreniere putting the puck in the back of the net. So I will say for this, I understand why Toronto called it a goal. I comprehend why LA was given the goal. But there's also something that could be said that, yeah, because Logan Thompson was here and Dubois did make slight contact, Thompson really wasn't able to get back right away and stop the puck. So you can really look at it both ways. You can really understand why a coach's challenge was called. However, the goal would stay, and the Golden Knights this season are 0 for 1 on coach's challenges by Bruce Cassidy. So after period number 1, the LA Kings were up 1-0 in the game, once again from the goal from Lafreniere. And I will say for the Vegas Golden Knights, that first period, like I mentioned before, it was just a very sluggish first period for the Vegas Golden Knights. There really wasn't much that you could say positively about the situation. Really, I think the only penalty they had was maybe a delay of game penalty. I know early in the first period, there was a delay of game that happened. And yeah, I will say that when it comes to something like that, trying to think of what else happened in the first period. I mean, there was a good hit by Paul Cotter. I mean, Paul Cotter has been really good at hitting players this year. He is very skilled, very young guy. Paul Cotter knows when to hit people and when not to hit somebody. And then in the second period, the LA Kings would add the lead and make it a 2-0 game for the Los Angeles Kings as Trevor Lawrence, the former Utah Grizzly, Trevor Lewis. Hey, Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars. You know what? That's tomorrow. Trevor Lewis for the LA Kings, the former Utah Grizzly. He made it a 2-0 game for the Vegas Golden Knights and LA Kings game. Kings are up 2-0. Blake Lizotte and Mikey Anderson with the assist on here. And yeah, Trevor Lewis, I mean, this is somebody who obviously is not the Jaguars quarterback, but somebody who has been a really good forward in the NHL. He's been a long time LA King. I mean, Trevor Lewis is definitely somebody that I would say he has earned his stripes as an NHLer. I mean, this guy has been in the NHL for a long time. And the fact that he's doing what he's doing is actually incredible. I mean, once again, Trevor Lewis, I mean, he is 36 years old with a first-round pick all those years ago, about 15 years ago. He was a first-round pick. And, yeah, it's just really nice to see the guy who came from Salt Lake City, played for the Utah Grizzlies, now has been a long-time staple of the LA Kings. And it made a 2-0 game for the LA Kings over the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, a few minutes later, the Vegas Golden Knights would get on the board as it's Michael Amadio, with his second goal of the season, making it a 2-1 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the setup by Karlsson, that was a very good job by him. Amadio putting the puck past Cam Talbot to make it a 2-1 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know what? I will say Michael Amadio, him being on the third line alongside Dorofeev, alongside Karlsson, he has done a really stand-up job this year as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights, being on that bottom six as a middle six forward here in Vegas. And then 2 minutes later, it's fight night, as Vegas Golden Knights Nick Hague would fight Andreas Englund. And Nick Hague, I think, just gave up at the end. I mean, he was punching England so much and putting so many punches and so many jabs and hooks into it. I think eventually he either got tired or he just gave up on punching the guy. It was actually a very funny moment. It was about half a minute. I'm not going to play the clip, unfortunately, because there's copyright. But I will say Nick Hague, Andreas Englund, definitely a win for Nick Hague in this fight. But yeah, so the fight of the night was Nick Hague and Andreas Englund. Definitely more entertaining and more fair than the Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou fight that they had out there in Saudi Arabia. So this second period, the Vegas Golden Knights would tie up the game a few minutes later as William Carrier with an unassisted goal to make it a 2-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know what? William Carrier has done an exceptional job this year. He's not really recognizable. Not many people outside of Vegas are really going to know or care about William Carrier. But as a fourth line forward, he made a milestone in his career. I want to give props to it, by the way. William Carrier, 100 career points. So with that goal against the LA Kings, congratulations to William Carrier on .100 in his career. I mean, he played out there for the Buffalo Sabres to begin his career. Now has been 7 years with the Vegas Golden Knights. So 100 points for William Carrier. So after the second period, it was tied up for the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. And it was a really good back and forth. That second period brought a lot of energy and intensity into this game. That's why I said first periods are slow and sluggish, but the second period is energetic and exciting. I mean, it's been that way for a lot of this year. I will also point out after the second period, there was some good chirping going on between the Kings and the Golden Knights. There was some stoppage where you saw some back and forth between the Kings and the Golden Knights. That's something very noticeable there. Now, moving over into the third period, after another delay of game penalty, which were both served by Paul Cotter by the Vegas Golden Knights, you ended up having a situation where Pierre-Luc Dubois had a holding penalty for the LA Kings, and that meant that your Golden Knights were on the NV Energy power play, or however the heck the guy reports it here in Vegas. A lot of respect to him, by the way, not making fun of him. I can't do his job. Now, I will say they're on the power play after Pierre-Luc Dubois with a holding penalty, and 1 minute later into the power play, our captain, your captain, Mark Stone, with his second goal of the season, assisted by the best player, the greatest player in Golden Knights history, Jonathan Marchessault, and the face of the defense in Shea Theodore. And this would put the Golden Knights up by 1. I know people at the Golden Nugget were excited to watch this game too. But yeah, the Golden Knights were up 3-2 as Mark Stone, the captain of the Golden Knights, put them up by 1 in this game. And yeah, it was just really fortunate that they had a power play situation with the Vegas Golden Knights. After all, the Golden Knights in the previous game struggled on the power play. They went 0-4 in the game previous. So the Golden Knights getting a power play goal, getting an opportunity by Mark Stone is definitely a fantastic situation. Was happy to see. And then 2 minutes later, there was a bonehead situation. And this is the only way I can put it. I don't really know any nice way I can say it. Ivan Barbashev, Barbie, had a double minor for the Vegas Golden Knights. And this was not a good play. This was absolutely a very wrong play to do at a wrong time for Ivan Barbashev. And with this having a double minor, that meant that the Kings were on a 4-minute power play. It meant for 4 minutes, the Vegas Golden Knights would have to be on the penalty kill. Now, most Golden Knights fans are okay with it because we have one of the best penalty kills in all of hockey. We're top 5 in penalty kill. However, most people who are Golden Knights fans also have PTSD from the 5-minute situation with San Jose a couple of years ago. So anytime you have a long penalty, it can go right or it can go wrong. And in this situation, it went right, as the Vegas Golden Knights and their great penalty kill was able to kill off a 4-minute power play. The Golden Knights were able to make sure the Kings did not score on a 4-minute power play. So I want to give, by the way, a quick shout out and applause to the Golden Knights penalty kill, one of the best in all of hockey. They definitely are doing a great thing there. And for the rest of the game, it really seemed like the Golden Knights had it in control. The Golden Knights understood the pacing. They were good on the forecheck, solid on the back check. There was not many giveaways given by the Golden Knights. However, with little more than a minute left in the game, this guy has been a problem for Vegas in the past. Drew Doughty, who has been a longtime member of the LA Kings, one of the best players the LA Kings have ever had, has scored his 4th goal of the season. And Drew Doughty would make it a tied game for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I will say, look, I will give credit where credit is due. Drew Doughty did a good job on the play. However, I will say that the Vegas Golden Knights defense could have been a little bit tighter on the play. Maybe should have forced him outside of where he was on the shot. However, you can't fix that. You can't change it. It is what it is. So Drew Doughty, 4th goal of the season for the LA Kings. Once again, a menace to the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Vegas Golden Knights are now tied up again as they would go into overtime. And in overtime, the Vegas Golden Knights, it looked like they had an opportunity, as Philip Deneau would have a tripping penalty against Alex Pietrangelo. And very similar to what happened the game before, where William Karlsson tripped up Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks scored. Golden Knights fans were like, you know what? We have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to win. And even though Jack Eichel was trying his hardest, and I mean his hardest, to get the puck past Cam Talbot, he was not able to do so. The penalty was killed off by Philip Deneau, and the Kings and Golden Knights, after an overtime, would be tied at 3-3 as they would head into a shootout. Now, to begin the shootout, Trevor Moore would miss on Logan Thompson. In fact, the puck would actually be skipping off his stick and would barely get a shot off. The next guy was Jack Eichel, the face of the Vegas Golden Knights and your alternate captain this year of the Vegas Golden Knights, Jack Eichel. And Jack Eichel, with a nice play on Cam Talbot, got past him on a right-hand shot, and Jack Eichel would score the 1st goal of the shootout. Then afterwards, Pierre-Luc Dubois, who had actually scored a playoff goal for the Winnipeg Jets against Vegas the year prior, he would try to go up against Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson with the stone hand. Nice play. Logan Thompson would save it. And then lastly, Shea Theodore, he unfortunately would not be able to get it past Cam Talbot. So the final player in the shootout, the last hope for the LA Kings, would be Kevin Fiala. And Kevin Fiala had a nice play, tried to go right side, and Logan Thompson shut it down, did the Aaron Rodgers discount double check, and your Vegas Golden Knights would win in a shootout 1-0. And because of that, your Vegas Golden Knights win, and it would be an 8-0-1 record for your Vegas Golden Knights. 17 points on the young season, 9 games in, 17 points. The best record in all of hockey goes to your Vegas Golden Knights. And the player of the game has to go with the guy who was the game-winning goal, and that is the face of the franchise, Jack Eichel. And you know what? Jack Eichel, I've always given him praise even when he was in Buffalo, but now he's here in Vegas. I understand why he's a top 20 player. I get how Jack Eichel has become a top 20 player in the league. The way he plays the game, his hockey IQ is remarkable. I will say that Jack Eichel, the way he plays the game is insane. The way he is able to break down a play almost before it even happens, that is next level hockey IQ. I respect what Jack Eichel can do. I like his speed. I like the way that he is quick on the puck. I like the way that Jack Eichel presents himself on the offense just as much on the defense. So Jack Eichel, player of the game-winning goal for your Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the only negative I have for the Vegas Golden Knights was the slow start by the top six. Your top six forwards the last couple of games have been almost non-existent. Now, obviously, Jack Eichel scoring the game-winning goal, Mark Stone in the third period, but this has kind of been a trend that I haven't liked talking about, but we need to talk about it. It seems like the last 5 games, the top 6 isn't productive in the first 2 periods. If it wasn't for the third line, if it wasn't for the fourth line, if it wasn't for the defenseman shooting clappers just past the goalie and getting it in the net, if they weren't shooting one-timers, I would say that the top 6 has a very slow start. The first 2 periods seems like Barbashev, Eichel, Marchessault, Stone, heck, even Stevenson and even Paul Cotter to an extent. It just seems like the top 6 doesn't get going as well as the bottom 6 does. So yeah, I just wanted to very quickly mention that because I've noticed the last 4 or 5 games, the top 6 forwards for your Vegas Golden Knights are not as quick and are not as responsive as the bottom 6 is. I mean, the last 4 or 5 games, if you look at the stat sheet, majority of the goals in the first 2 periods by Vegas have been your bottom 6 forwards or your defensive pairings. So the top 6, I think they need to start being more productive. They need to get quicker. They really need to be more responsive in the first 2 periods of the game. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I always do. To the LA Kings forward, Alex Laferriere. I mean, this is a rookie, somebody who's trying to earn his way as a Los Angeles King. And he definitely earned a lot of respect tonight. The way he presented himself, the fact that he almost had a second goal, by the way. There was one opportunity he had getting in the second period. I swore would have been a goal if it wouldn't have been for Logan Thompson in net. And what do the stats look like for the Vegas Golden Knights LA Kings game? What was the statistics in this game? I will tell you right now. The LA Kings outshot the Vegas Golden Knights 39-30. So the LA Kings had 9 more shots on net. The Vegas Golden Knights slightly out-hit the LA Kings 21-19. You also had penalty minutes. The LA Kings had 11. Golden Knights had a lucky 13 penalty minutes. When it came to face-off opportunities, the Golden Knights lost that battle as the LA Kings had a 57% face-off conversion rate. And even if you break down more of the analytics and break down more of the analytical side for the Vegas Golden Knights, the Vegas Golden Knights were 1 for 3 on the power play. The LA Kings were 0 and 4 on the power play. Like I said, Vegas Golden Knights have a very impressive penalty kill. The fact that they went 0 for 4 against the LA Kings not being able to put a puck in the back of the net on the power play. Great job by Vegas. You also had blocked shots, which is actually insane. The Vegas Golden Knights had 24 blocked shots. I wouldn't be surprised if 20 of them came from Alec Martinez and Brayden McNabb because they're always blocking shots. Now, the giveaway and takeaways was fascinating to me because the Vegas Golden Knights had 5 takeaways, but they also gave up the puck 6 times. So it seemed like the Golden Knights, every time they had a takeaway and they took the puck away from LA, they were just as quickly giving it back to LA. So yeah, Vegas had 5 takeaways, but also 6 giveaways. So it wasn't really a very clean game for the LA Kings and Vegas Golden Knights. On the LA Kings side, they had 7 giveaways, but 5 takeaways. So when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings game, it just seemed like there was a lot of opportunities here. And I want to very quickly mention the Henderson Silver Knights because we do talk about the AHL affiliate. In fact, on October 31st, here's a video that we're making right now. On October 31st, we are going to be doing our minor league report here on Vegas Hockey Hub. We did it last year. We're going to be doing it again this year. And yeah, the Henderson Silver Knights lost to the Ontario region 4-1 as the Henderson Silver Knights dropped to 5-2. The Ontario region go up to 4-2. So they took on the LA Kings. They beat them 4-3. But on the minor league side, the Ontario region beat the Henderson Silver Knights. A very unfortunate situation there. And then, even in the ECHL, which I definitely will love talking about because the Savannah Ghost Pirates do matter, the ECHL affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights, their second year of existing. And when it comes to the Savannah Ghost Pirates and what they're doing right now, I mean, this is an organization that has done some really interesting things. And I will say the schedule for the Savannah Ghost Pirates was very fascinating. In fact, I will tell you what their schedule was right here, right now. As I will say for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, they've had a good start to the season. As the Savannah Ghost Pirates, they currently lost a game to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. So I'll say for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, they lost 3-5, but had a recent victory against the Norfolk Admirals. So they beat the Jacksonville Icemen, they beat the Norfolk Admirals, and they lost to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And they're actually going to be taking on the Swamp Rabbits tonight, actually. So that's going to be a fun game if you're a Savannah Ghost Pirates fan. If you're in Savannah, Georgia, you'll be taking on Greensville tonight. So the Savannah Ghost Pirates, they unfortunately lost. The Ontario region, they unfortunately lost. And I want to very quickly give a little bit of respect to UNLV, the Rebels hockey team, the UNLV Skating Rebels, because they definitely deserve a shout out here. As the UNLV Rebels hockey, they've actually been doing a stand-up job as of recently. As when it comes to this organization, I'm very impressed by what they've done. So when it comes to UNLV hockey, I want to say to them, good for them. I like what they are doing right now. And for everybody who is watching, they actually beat the Arizona Wildcats 3-1 in their most recent game. So they beat Arizona 3-1. Vegas beats LA. Ontario beat Henderson. And then Greensville beat Savannah. So 2-2. All right, that 2-2. And then also recently in the news, you had the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be purchasing the Fiesta ice hockey rink. Everybody who remembers that back in the day, the Fiesta, the Sobe Ice Arena that you had out there at the Fiesta Hotel, it's still up and running. Well, Vegas Golden Knights are going to be purchasing that and turning it into a new facility. So I do like that by the Vegas Golden Knights. And we have about 90 seconds left in the show, and I wanted to say this real quick, just because it is part of the hockey community. It's something that unfortunately did happen. I want to say rest in peace and my thoughts and prayers to Adam Johnson and his family, also to the organization, the Nottingham Panthers, and everyone who was there to witness it. It was an unfortunate situation. Nobody ever wants to see that happen in the game of hockey. I highly recommend nobody looking at the video. It made my stomach turn when I did see it. I wish I hadn't. But yeah, Adam Johnson passed away at the age of 29 after an unfortunate event on the ice during a game with the Nottingham Panthers. And I want to say once again, from the bottom of my heart, rest in peace, Adam Johnson. My thoughts and prayers to your family and everyone who knows Adam Johnson. And yeah, former NHL player, played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and definitely something you never want to see as part of the hockey community. Rest in peace to Adam Johnson. So this is Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. We're going to be doing that minor league report on Monday. We're also going to be doing the recap show for the Canadiens and Golden Knights game a little bit afterwards. So once again, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. This was Vegas Hockey Hub on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. Until next time, continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights, go.